Ideal Protein Nation. Hey, we're all back together. How exciting is this? Man, just so you know, we have like 660 some odd people registered and ready to go. We are so excited that you are back in the room with us. One of the best things about Ideal Protein is the fact that, man, we are a community, right? I love what Dr. Tran says. Ideal Protein is not just a product and it's not just people, but it's a movement. And we're so glad that you're part of that movement with us. We are going to give people just a few minutes to go ahead and log on. We are starting right on time and super excited about that. But want to give a few shout outs because we know that we've got some Ideal Protein watch parties going on. I know when I was on The Biggest Loser, man, there were watch parties all over, and this is even better. So I love the fact that our community is coming together and just sharing space together. So I want to have a few shout outs here. Kristen and Barb at the Ideal Way, Mount Juliet, Tennessee. We are thrilled that you and your watch party are there. Hey, Him Possible, what's going on? Noelle and Kathy up in Great Falls, Minnesota. Not just Minnesota, right? Minnesota. We are thrilled that you are on with us tonight. And the Wellness Pursuit 365. Now, this one is a little special because this is Delia Rice's clinic, and Shelby is a coach. Happy birthday, Shelby. They've gotten together with all of their Ideal Protein buttered popcorn. They've got the vanilla crispy squares. They've got some crock pot meals going on, and they are living the dream in, I don't remember where you guys are, but glad you're on with us. So if you would put in the chat, where are you from? We're thrilled that you're here. We're glad you're here. We want to know where you're from. Don't be shy. Give us some love in the chat, and we're going to get started here. You know, this is an exciting, exciting evening. The team has gotten together multiple times, and we want to put together tonight one of the best nights for you because we are so excited about this Feel Good Fall live event, right? This is all about small shifts and big wins, how feeling good is so much simpler than we think. So I am thrilled that you're here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and join us. It's great to see such an amazing turnout already. So let's get things rolling. Drop in the chat where you're from. Drop in the chat if you're having a watch party. We've got people tuning in from all over our country, and we want to see your city pop up. So go ahead and throw that in the chat right now if you would. And while you're at it, do me a favor, don't be shy. Don't be shy in the comments. Get in there. We want your questions. We want to know your what you're thinking. We want to know if you have certain questions for certain panelists. We want to know what your thoughts are. And we really want to hear your reactions and ultimately your encouragement for each other, because we are created to do things together, right? We're better together. And we want you to know that tonight, it's not just a webinar. It's not. This is a conversation. And guess what? You're included. Now, for those of you who don't know, hang on. I just found out we've got people not only from the United States, we have people in the Cayman Islands. I will expect my ticket to come visit you because I need to check out what's going on over there. And all the way from Australia, the land down under. So, man, thanks for tuning in. We're thrilled that you're here. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Sonya Jones, and some of you may remember me. I was a finalist on season 16 of The Biggest Loser. And I have to tell you, Ideal Protein has been a huge part of my life. Now, I didn't lose all the weight on Ideal Protein, but I've kept it off for now 11 years with Ideal Protein. And I'm a coach, I'm a clinic owner, and I've seen firsthand how this protocol, how this movement, it changes lives. It doesn't change numbers on scales, right? But what it does is it changes people's confidence, their health, and energy. I love the fact, and I say oftentimes what I love about Ideal Protein is when people walk through our doors, sometimes they're down and out, but when they walk out of our doors, they smile brighter and they have a confidence that they've not known before. And that's what we love about Ideal Protein. And tonight, we are here, all of us. There's a great panel. I'm super excited about it. But tonight, we're here to help you take that first step, or maybe it's just the next step, right? Toward your feeling the very best that you can this fall. Now, why fall, right? Why didn't we do this in the summer? Why didn't we do this in the winter? Here's why. Fall is a great time where routines start back up. They get busy. Kids are back in school. Holidays start creeping up. So we want to make sure and get that extra weight off. And it's easy for us to put ourselves last, right? Because we're so busy. But what if this fall could be different? What if the momentum that we have, what if it could spark, what if this movement that we have could spark momentum? What if it could rebuild your confidence and make you not just feel good, but feel great again? That's what tonight's about. Ideal Protein, as you well know, Ideal Protein, it's not just another diet. It's structured, right? It's science backed. It's coach led. Most importantly, we have amazing coaches in Ideal Protein that focus on the whole person. This is about nutrition, it's about movement, it's about mindset, it's about community, right? And tonight, you're going to see all of those pillars come tonight with our incredible lineup of voices that I am so excited, because every person is going to bring a piece of the puzzle specifically for you, right? You guys are, you are why we're here tonight. We are not here because we just had nothing better to do on Thursday, September the 18th. We are here because we love you. We are in this fight with you, and there's nothing we want more than to see you excel, not just at life, but especially in your health. Because when you look better, you feel better. When you feel better, you move better. When all of those things work out to help us be the best version of us that we can be. So that's why we're here. And tonight, this is who you get to hear from. Ready? Drum roll, please. I got my own drum roll. All right, here's who we've got. First of all, you're going to hear from Dr. Doug Rothrock, our Chief Medical Advisor. He's going to break down why Ideal Protein, why the Ideal Protein protocol works more now than ever, right? Especially in today's GLP-1 buzz-filled world. And then we're going to connect with someone who I know everyone loves. You've seen her on all the posters, the flying Paula Hammer, right? She is on our posters. She's amazing. She's been living her Ideal Protein journey for 12 years. She's not just lost the weight, but here's the kicker. She's keeping it off. And she does that with the Ideal Protein protocol. Then we've got your favorite and mine, Dr. John Barnes, triathlete, Ideal Protein clinic owner, and member of the Scientific Advisory Board, but also he is the dude behind the Life Possible podcast that we all know and love, right? So we're super excited about that. And he's going to share the secret power of Zone 2 exercise and why it's such a game changer for fat burning, energy, and maintenance. Next up, closing it up, hitting cleanup, is Dr. Dolores Zimbato. If you know her, you love her. She's a clinic owner. She's a coach. She's going to dive into your mindset and habits that will help people succeed long-term. Because as we all know, this is not just about weight loss. This is about weight maintenance. And then finally, I'll close it up with some inspiration, sharing how the smallest changes in your life can truly lead to the biggest wins. So, are you ready to do this? Are you ready to roll? Give me a high five in the chat if you're ready to roll. All right, buckle up. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be practical. It's going to be empowering. And I hope that tonight something is said that will absolutely change your life to help you get back on the bus or continue on the journey to your health and wellness. So here we go. Dr. Rothrock, here we go. You have been watching the health landscape shift dramatically over these last few years. You've had a front seat to it, especially with all the talk around the GLP-1 medications. From your specific perspective, why is Ideal Protein still such a relevant and powerful option right now?
Well, thank you, Sonya. It's great to be here. I can't believe I'm talking clear across the world here. It's amazing. And just so we all know, Ideal Protein is 21 years old this year, so we all should be celebrating. But answer your question. It's fascinating, really, that the GLP-1s especially have been an issue for us, but it's also been an inspiration for us. The GLP-1s have, I think, brought forward weight loss as a much more important thing because people are paying more attention to it than they may have in the past. And although Ideal Protein has been successful as a standalone for 21 years, I think the GLP-1s have added a new dimension to weight loss in general, and people's more appropriate attention possibly to weight loss. But ideal protein now becomes the perfect partner with GLP-1s. And the reason for that is that GLP-1s by themselves cause a weight loss that may or may not be very healthy. It causes muscle loss. It causes sarcopenia, which is a fancy term for muscle loss, and things that aren't quite so healthy. So the goal of ideal protein has always been not just weight loss, but an appropriate metabolic reset so that your metabolism and your body becomes better with the weight loss, not just thinner. The idea is not to get in a bikini. The idea is to actually get a better metabolic situation going and a better body in general. So, and the reason why they're great partners is because ideal protein, of course, being a ketogenic protocol with normal protein, low carbohydrates, and low fat, not like the DIY keto protocols on the internet, that we create a metabolic reset that gives us an improvement in insulin resistance, in metabolic syndrome. For those of you who haven't seen the paper from University of British Columbia, we actually get, we've had a study with them where we actually caused a remission in type 2 diabetes, a very exciting study. And so it's really important how ideal protein will improve a person's metabolism and presumably life expectancy and risk for cardiovascular disease and et cetera, et cetera. And the GLP-1s have been an addition to that because I think it helps as a synergism with the person's ability to stay on phase one and to stay on track with the weight loss, and that gives us a great deal of excitement. We're working to get partnerships with the GLP-1s, and so we'll be working in the future with that as well. So ideal protein not only is a fantastic standalone system to lose weight and then has the time-honored protocol that we've always done through Dr. Tran all these years and been successful at it, but now we have an added tool that will help us with keeping our patients on the straight and narrow with phase one of the protocol.
I love that. Thank you. We just had a client come in and say how the GLP-1s, while on ideal protein, has been the best thing for her, that it has absolutely been a game changer. And so many people and coaches are connecting in the chat. Keep doing that, guys. We're thrilled, so thrilled that you guys are able to connect tonight. It's the closest thing to us being able to be in the room together. So Dr. Rothrock, thank you for that. But I have another question. For those who may not know the science, can you explain in everyday terms for people like me, right? How is the ideal protein protocol? How does it work to reset someone's metabolism?
Well, scientifically, I think the most important point, of course, is that as everyone knows, that's part of ideal protein. It's a partial meal replacement, low carbohydrate, low fat, normal protein protocol. If you look at RDAs for recommended daily allowances for the different metabolic groups, we fit pretty much all of them. The 0.8 to 1 gram per kilogram for protein. We're less than 50 grams of carbohydrates so that we're ketogenic. And we have low fat because there is a possibility of fatty acid deficiency diseases. So we have very low amount of fat in the diet to keep that from happening. So that allows us to get an appropriate metabolic, biochemically safe weight loss. It's the only way really to safely lose weight with that biochemical distribution. The balanced hypocaloric diets are not good for you, which have been the popular diets over the years, because if you take all of the food groups and cut them down, you become protein deficient in about 14 weeks. And protein deficiency is not a good thing. So again, we're not just losing weight, but we're losing weight and improving a person's insulin resistance and their ability to maintain muscle mass while losing weight. So the biggest scourge, of course, in North America and around the world getting to be, unfortunately, is the metabolic syndrome. So ideal protein is the best treatment for for the metabolic syndrome, and there really is no other way to do it, frankly. So I'm incredibly proud of our protocol and how it stood up for all these years. And the protocol that Dr. Tran invented more than 20 years ago has held up and is incredibly efficient and important. I mean, I got started with ideal protein, kind of like your story a little bit, Sonia. I got started by losing 100 pounds. It was pretty hard as a cardiologist to tell my patients to lose weight when I was 100 pounds overweight. That didn't work out real well. So ideal protein has been my lifesaver throughout the years, and why I'm so passionate about it.
Man, I tell you, I tell people all the time, ideal protein, it saves lives, right? It saves lives. So, a lot of people who are watching right now, they might be on a GLP-1 or they might be considering it. Like, how can the ideal protein, specifically the protocol, complement those medications so that clients not only lose weight, but like you talked about earlier, it also protects their muscle mass and it improves their overall metabolic health. How does that happen?
Well, of course, the GLP-1s have been an interesting group of medications in that their indications are becoming broader. They're indicated in heart failure and coronary artery disease. They're indicated, there are a number of other diseases because it appears that the GLP-1s are generally anti-inflammatory, appears to be the mechanism. Of course, a ketogenic diet is generally anti-inflammatory. So we get complementary synergism between the two. The other thing that we've been able to see in our own pilot protocols in ideal protein is when you do phase 1, you can get the effect of the GLP-1s at a much lower dose. And of course, anytime you can reduce the dose of the GLP-1s, you're going to reduce the potential side effects of the GLP-1s. So at the lower dose of GLP-1s, you get the benefit when combined with ideal protein, but you don't get a lot of the limiting side effects. And the limiting side effects can be very significant. GI side effects, constipation, nausea, vomiting, esophageal reflux, and heartburn. There's even a few weird ones that I even managed to experience, like a little bit of depression, which is not kind of me at all. So there's a number of side effects of GLP-1s that get, like any drug, more prominent as you increase the dose. So with a lesser dose or a beginning dose giving us an adequate effect to keep people on phase 1, that's the winner in both worlds. We get the benefit of the GLP-1s and we get the benefit of ideal protein. And once again, when you lose the weight with appropriate protein and with ketosis, that resets insulin resistance, which is the main problem with metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes, which is by North America anyways, vastly the reason for for the bad outcomes of being overweight.
Yeah.
So the benefits are really dramatic when added together.
Yeah. Karen just came on and said in the chat that she agrees that ideal protein saves lives as many patients have reduced their medications, right? We've seen medications thrown out the window. We've seen sleep apnea machines thrown out the window. We've seen oxygen tanks chucked, right? So there's so many great things about ideal protein. And I remember what really resonated with me is when someone said, ideal protein, it heals you metabolically. It heals you from the inside out. But a happy side effect is you also lose weight. So Dr. Rothrock, one more question. You ready? Here we go. If someone's listening tonight and they've tried multiple diets and they feel stuck, what is one simple science-backed action that they can take this week to start moving toward their metabolic health?
Well, of course, go see an ideal protein clinic. That would be my obvious answer to that. Get connected with an ideal protein coach. But if you want to even get started, I think, looking at your own diet, paying very close attention to it, even writing it down for a week to just see, in fact, what you're really doing. My as someone who's been dealing with my own weight and my patient's weight for over 15 years with ideal protein. It's amazing. I've been with ideal protein for 15 years, but
Hmm.
for that 15 years, it's always amazing to me. I think how little people really realize what they're eating. So maybe one of the very first great things you can do is, in fact, do a food diary.
Mm.
Just write down the things that you're doing for a week and really get an idea. Because people say, "Oh, I eat like a bird." Well, when you really write it down, maybe it's a big bird. That might be a really important way to just get an idea where you are and how ideal protein can reset you. Because by and large, I'll bet 99% of people out there are eating way too many carbohydrates. And
Sure.
in the newer things that are coming out in some of the medical journals and British Medical Journal for one, the ultra processed foods. I think you'll find that if you how much ultra processed food you're eating in a
Mhm.
week. And the beauty, of course, of ideal protein is the beauty of our food, that it is clean and tastes good and is very, very biochemically safe and clean and not ultra processed. So it's really the whole protocol is just so well worked out after all these years that it's just wonderful. But a first step is to really get an idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
great.
That's awesome.
That's
Dr.
awesome.
Rothrock, thank you so much for breaking that down in just a clear way, right? So if you're watching and you're thinking, man, I need to understand the science. I need to understand my metabolism better. This is exactly why Ideal Protein exists, because the coaches are here to help you. We want to help you walk through that, right? If you're already an IP client, get back with your clinic, get back with your coach. If you're not connected, get connected. So, Dr. Rothrock, thank you again so much for your time. It was wonderful to share this with you. And don't go anywhere, because I've got a question for you at the very end as well. So, thank you again. You know, Dr. Rothrock just walked through why the science behind Ideal Protein works and why it matters now more than ever before. But science becomes even more powerful when you see it lived out in real life. And that's what we get to experience now. If you haven't met her, she is amazing. I'm so excited for you to meet Paula. 12 years ago, she started her Ideal Protein journey. And not only did Paula lose the weight, she's kept it off for over a decade. Y'all, that's a big deal. Give it up for Paula. Here, I've got my little hand clapper thing, right? So give it up for Paula. You know, through 2 pregnancies and weight regain, super busy seasons in life, the ups, the downs, and everything in between that we all face, Paula has used consistent tune-ups in the Ideal Protein protocol to make sure that she stays on track. So tonight, here's what's happening. She's going to pull back the curtain on what it looks like in the real world, right? Because we're all busy. The small habits, the mindset shifts, the personal strategies, and all the things that have helped her create big wins over the long haul. Y'all, she is beating the odds in keeping weight off long term. So Paula's story is living proof that with the right tools, the right support, and the right mindset, you can make those results stick for life, right? So Paula, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Let's start at the beginning, can we? Let's just take us back, Paula, to what brought you to Ideal Protein in the first place?
Hi, Sonya. I am so excited to be here today and share my story, my journey with everyone. So, let's think back to 12 years ago. So, here I was, back to square one. I have struggled with my weight since I was very young. I remember it as a small child, into my teen years, into my young adult, and into adult. And here I am again. I tried so many different diets, calorie counting, different programs, special diets, that you can lose weight, and wanting to be healthy, but not ever being able to actually do it. The most I was able to lose ever on my own was 12 pounds. And so I was here and I was like, I want to do this. I want to make a difference, but I want to try something different. I don't want to do the same things that I've been trying that aren't working. And as I was thinking about, re-engaging and trying to find something else, I had been watching a friend on Facebook, actually, and she was posting her success, and how she was losing weight, she was feeling great, having energy, all of the things that I was hoping for and that I needed. And finally, one day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to her. I haven't talked to her in years, but I'm going to reach out to her. Like, what are you doing? So I did. And she was so kind and so nice. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing Ideal Protein. I was like, Ideal Protein? I was like, what is that? Like 12 years ago, I've never even heard of Ideal Protein. So she explained the program to me a little bit. And she's like, what you do is you go to an Ideal Protein clinic. And so I'm here in the Pittsburgh area, so which is where she was around too. So I went to Ideal Wellness and Weight Loss here in Pittsburgh, met with Coach Brianne, and they have info sessions, and they'll tell you what a day in the life looks like, everything you would need to know. To see if this is a right fit for you. So I did. I went to the info session. I learned all about the science. I thought about it. I researched it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to do it. If she did it, I can do it too. And I am just so happy that I did because it completely changed my life.
Paula, I have to tell you right now, our chat's blowing up. So much love for Paula in the chat right now. Everybody loves you. Thank you so
Oh,
much
yay.
for sharing that. But here's the thing, and I know I've seen this over and over in my clinic, and as I've talked to Dr. Barnes and other clinic owners, right? Like, it's almost like there's this safety net of phase one, right? And phase one is fun. You get to see the numbers just drop, right? The weight falls off. But maintenance is where it's scary, but it's also where people really struggle. What has helped you specifically stay consistent all these years?
So, you know what? Maintenance is, it was hard. I lost the weight and I was, at first by myself, like I mentioned, I had lost 12 pounds. So I knew that I was going to be able to lose 12 pounds with Ideal Protein. I've lost that before with anything else. So I was truly convinced that Ideal Protein was amazing when I hit that 50-pound mark. When I hit 50-pound mark, because I had 100, my goal was to lose 100 pounds. And so I was like, when I hit 50 pounds, I was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. Like, this is working. But so in my mind, I was like, I just have to focus. I just have to get the rest of this weight off and then I'll be good. I'll be good. I'll get the weight off and I'll be good. But what I didn't realize is if I go back to eating the way that I was eating before, I was going to regain that weight and I was not going to be able to maintain it off. So I had to really do a mind shift and I had to realize that although I'm not on the weight loss plan of the program right now, the maintenance part of the program and having a plan through maintenance is really what helps me throughout my maintenance plan. When you go in and you meet one-on-one with your weight loss coach, they're walking you through not only weight loss, but they're getting you through maintenance, figuring out your macro code, which teaches you about fats, about carbs, about proteins, things that I had like, heard about before and thought that I knew about, but really not, I really didn't know how it truly like would help me and how I could really build my plate around and what proper portions should look like, how the proper macros can really fuel my body. So I feel like those are the main changes that I realized on maintenance that really help me keep going and keep the weight off is having the plan and following that plan.
So good. Because we often say, right, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? Always. So yeah, that's
Always.
so good. So good. Still lots of love for you in the chat. Okay, let's have another quick question. Life happens, right?
Yeah.
Things get busy. And those things, what do you do? How do you get back on track when life gets busy or
So
stressful, just stressful?
Yeah, so this was a hard one for me to learn because I'm a person that's either all in or I'm all out with things. And I had to realize that when it came to my eating habits and to prioritizing this lifestyle that I want, it can't be like that. I have to be in the gray area. Just because I have a bad meal doesn't mean that I've ruined everything. Just because I went and enjoyed myself and went on vacation with my family doesn't mean that that vacation is going to put 126 pounds back on me. The trick really is the key that I've learned is getting back on track. So I know, okay, I had a bad meal, no big deal. I can, my next meal can be right on my plan. and manage it that way. I went on vacation, no big deal. But what is my plan when I get back from vacation? I got to get back to my plan, get back to my routine, get back to my normal, And sometimes that can be hard. And that's why I feel like figuring out what your why, with why it is that you want to lose weight. Why do you want to be healthy? For me, it's definitely for my family, watching my kids. I have 2 little kids and I want to be active with them. I want to see them grow up and, achieve things in their lives. And I want to be healthy for them and be role models. I didn't know how to eat properly when I was young. And I want to make sure that I am ready to, show them how to do it and be their role model as well. So your why is key.
Oh man, your why is so key. You hit the nail on the head, because your why is typically the thing that's under the thing that's under the thing that sometimes just breaks your heart, right? And
Really?
so I
Yes.
love that. I love that. So okay, first of all, Joseph is in the chat right now, and I love this so much. He has lost 67 pounds. He's kept it off for 3 years. He's off of his diabetes medicine. His heart meds were reduced. And he says that Ideal Protein gave him his life back. So can we give Joseph some love in the chat, man? Congratulations, buddy. I
Congratulations.
love that so much. Okay. Last question, Paula. You ready? For
Ready.
someone watching tonight who doubts that they can keep the weight off, what's your very best piece of advice for them?
So it starts with truly wanting it, truly wanting to make a change. For me, I truly wanted to do it. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't have the education that I needed to do it, and Ideal Protein taught me that. So the key is truly wanting it, but then believing in yourself. Believe in yourself and know that you can get there, and then plan for it. So the best plan is to have a plan.
Yeah.
And Ideal Protein is an amazing plan to have, because not only are you going to get the plan that you need for weight loss and then through maintenance, but you also have that one-on-one coach that is going to be there to motivate you, educate you. They get to know you. Sometimes, especially when you are a busy mom or you're busy with the kids, that coaching appointment, that time that you have with the coach to really connect, that's your one time to really prioritize yourself and get yourself thinking about, okay, this is why I want to, make this change, or this is why I'm going to continue my lifestyle. So I would definitely tell someone who doubts it, if you believe in yourself and you truly, truly want this, find out what that why is, and realize that sometimes your why does change, and that's okay, but find that out and then find the right plan. And Ideal Protein is an amazing plan that can help you not only through weight loss, but through maintenance. And you will if this is truly your dream, you will make it a reality.
I love it. I love it. Paula, my goodness, thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey. I think everyone watching can see how your consistency and your small daily wins have just paid off over the long-term haul. And honestly, why it's so important to remember your why. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's always so great to be with the Ideal Protein community. And I love sharing my story because it means so much to me. And it's changed my whole life and so many other people's. So great being here.
Man, one of the things you mentioned was how you've stayed active with your kids in ways that work for you, right? And that's the perfect lead in to our next guest. So Dr. John Barnes is here to break down exercise in a way that takes the mystery and honestly the intimidation out of it. He's going to share how the right kind of movement, especially zone 2 exercise, can boost fat burning, energy, overall metabolic health, both during weight loss and for years afterwards. So everybody give it up in the chat for your favorite podcast host, Dr. John Barnes. Dr. Barnes, listen, before we dive into the science of zone 2, I know you've had your own personal transformation with Ideal Protein. I know that you've lived it, you've loved it, and losing weight, you have lost a ton of weight, and now you went on to compete in triathlons, right? So tell us, if you would, what first inspired you to make that change, and how has that experience, how does that shape the way that you coach people today? Welcome.
Sonya, how are
What's
you?
up? Hey,
Oh,
$10
you know
says
what?
you're going to cry at one point tonight.
I was literally just going to say, don't make me cry tonight. right? That the tables are turned. So now you're interviewing me, and I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with this really, but
I got you.
Sonya, there's no easy way to put it, and I say it at the beginning of my show all the time. I was fat, sick, and depressed 10 years ago. And what's worse is I didn't see a way out. I hadn't ever really struggled with weight ever. I was the 98-pound weakling in high school. And so this was new territory for me. But the stress of chiropractic practice and emotional eating, just like it gets to so many people, had gotten me to a place that I had no idea I could get out of. But then one of my chiropractic patients disappeared on me for 6 months, and he lost 70 pounds. The next time I saw him walk through my door, he was 70 pounds lighter. And it absolutely blew me away. And I brought him back. I asked him what he did. He said his cardiologist referred him to this Ideal Protein program and that I should look into it because I might want to have it in my practice. I didn't care about having it in my practice at that point. I cared about an answer for me. So I found a place, I did it, and man, I tell you, the rest is history. Now it's my life's passion, as you know.
I do. And we're so, so grateful. And the chat is blowing up and because there's lots of love for Dr. Barnes in the chat. And I can say on behalf of Ideal Protein Nation, how grateful we are for you and how grateful we are for how often you invest in all of us. So thank you so much for that. Lots of love for you in the chat. So, often people hear the term low carb or ketogenic and they think they'll feel too tired to work out or that exercise might not even be effective for them, right? So
Right.
can you explain to us how the right type of activity, even on a low carb plan, it can boost fat loss, right? And it can boost energy and overall health. How does that happen?
I tell you, Sonya, it's part of it is because of the miseducation that we've been given for the past, however, 40 years, that carbohydrates are the preferred fuel of the human body. And that's absolutely not true. Low carb does not mean low energy. Once your body actually switches to burning fat instead of relying on sugar for energy, you're actually using a steadier and cleaner and more reliable fuel source for all of your daily activities and in exercise. And if you pair that with the right type of exercise, like walking or cycling, you can accelerate your fat loss, boost your energy all day long, and feel better than you ever have. You know, in phase one, you should have more energy than ever. I know I know the day that I shifted into ketosis because all of a sudden I had all this energy that I had not had for years. And if you don't have that energy, you need to talk to your coach and they need to fine tune something because any perceived lack of energy in phase one, especially during exercise, is generally due to low electrolytes, especially sodium. And so please get with your coach if that's the case, because we need to increase those electrolytes for you so that you feel amazing.
So good. So good. So, there's a lot of people out there, you just talked about this, but who still think that you can't exercise specifically when you're on the Ideal Protein protocol. Dr. Barnes, clear that up for us right now, please.
Again, this is the biggest myth about Ideal Protein out there, and we have to dispel this myth. We can't have that reputation anymore. You absolutely can exercise in phase one of Ideal Protein. The challenge of it is if you're going to exercise, you want it to work with your body. You want it to work towards your goal, not against it. We're not just trying to lose weight. We're trying to burn fat while protecting our muscle. And so it's really important that we do the right kind of exercise.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, so specifically your section tonight is something that I know you are especially passionate about. It's zone 2 exercise. So can you do us a favor? Break down what is zone 2, right? And why is it such a perfect match for someone on the Ideal Protein protocol or someone who's living a low carb lifestyle? Like, what is zone 2?
So zone 2 refers very specifically to a zone of your heart rate. We typically reference 5 heart rate zones during exercise or during activity, starting with 1 at the very bottom and 5 at your maximum. And so zone 2 is really a sweet spot where we're burning fat. The fitness industry pushes people to think that they have to exercise at high intensity to be effective. And that's just absolutely not true, especially when it comes to burning fat. Exercise that pushes your rate above into zone 3 and above actually makes you burn sugar and or in phase 1 protein instead of fat. And we do not want that. Our goal is, like I said, it's to burn fat and protect muscle. So that protein we're eating, we want to go towards maintaining our muscle mass. We do not want to divert that for energy for exercise. So if we keep it in zone 2, that's very specifically where our body can keep up with the demand for energy by accessing stored body fat and burning it. You know, truly, it's just the best zone for us to burn fat.
I love it. Now, Dr. Barnes, I know this is something that you don't enjoy talking about a whole lot, but I'm going to ask you, wasn't there a specific Life Possible podcast that maybe someone might want to go and think about watching when it talks about ideal protein zone 2?
You know, I
And I
hate
know
talking.
you don't like to talk
You
about
know, I
the
hate plugging the Life
I know.
Possible podcast, Sonya, but since you asked, right? So quite literally, I had the opportunity a few shows ago to interview one of my absolute heroes in this space. It was world-renowned primal nutrition and fitness expert Mark Sisson. And that was episode 82, to be specific, for the Life Possible podcast, where Mark specifically addresses this. And he's someone that is so much more intelligent and so much more an expert in fitness. He's actually an ex-professional triathlete. But in fact, he wrote an entire book that just came out this past year about how important zone 2 exercise is. And I'll tell you, athletes, triathletes, cyclists, marathoners at the top levels spend 80% of their training time in zone 2. That's what a lot of people don't understand. The fitness industry, you can't wrap this up in a sexy package. They can't, it's really, you don't need extra equipment for this, right? And so it's very hard for the fitness industry to promote it. But for us, it's absolutely perfect.
Man, I have to tell you, like, there is so much love in the chat right now for the Life Possible podcast. People are loving that. There's so many shout outs about the Life Possible podcast. So we're so grateful that you bring that to us. So one last question.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to start tomorrow, let's say they just wanted to start tomorrow, what's an easy but realistic way that they could just work zone 2 into their week? How would that work?
You know, again, it's the easiest thing, and that's why people just don't think that it's actually doing anything. Get outside and walk. If it's raining, go to the mall and walk and leave your wallet at home. All you got to do is put one foot in front of the other. Like I said, it doesn't need fancy equipment. And you know, fitness trackers really help out because you can actually look at your heart rate on your fitness tracker. They can be set for zones so that you know that. But if you don't have that, if that technology isn't something that you use, the easiest way to figure out if you're in zone 2 is that you are walking or you're cycling or you're doing something hard enough that you can still talk and carry on a conversation, but you might not be able to break into a full song. Okay. And I think that's probably a really neat distinction. So that's why we kind of call it conversational exercise. So pick a friend, pick a buddy, get out there together and walk. That way you've got accountability. If you're not feeling it that day, but they call up and say, hey, let's go for a walk. Where are you? Right? It really helps out. So I think that would be the best advice for somebody to just start today.
Get out and walk. Love it. Thank you, Dr. Barnes, for making this so accessible, so easy for us to understand. And guys, if you're thinking about how to move more this fall, this is your sign. Do it. Get your shoes.
Hey, Sonya.
Yeah.
Also, too, I just wanted to let you guys know, Ideal Protein has put something together for people as they're starting to get into this style of exercise. Like, I can't go out walking or running or well, not cycling, but without music, right? Like, I need a soundtrack for my exercise sessions. And there's a zone 2 soundtrack playlist in Spotify. So if you've got Spotify, I know that our friend Allie, actually my Life Possible podcast producer, Allie, is going to go ahead and drop that link in the chat. specifically to the Spotify Zone 2 playlist so that you can
Love
put that in your earbuds and help motivate you.
Man, so good. Thank you, Dr. Barnes,
Yeah,
for
my
being here
pleasure.
tonight. We'll circle back to you at the end. I love
Yep.
how you've shown that exercise, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't need to be intimidating, especially when you focus on the right kind of exercise like zone 2. So thank you for that. You know, of course, physical activity is just one part of the puzzle, and staying consistent over the long haul takes the right mindset and daily habits to keep that momentum going long term, right? So, and that's exactly where our next guest comes in. Here she is. Dr. Dolores Zimbardo has helped countless clients make this a lifestyle, not just a short-term win. And she has so much more to share with us tonight. So Dr. Z, man, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You've helped so many clients turn this program not just into a program, not just into a diet, but into a true lifestyle. It's not just short term. So, from your experience, what's the first mindset shift that you see in people who achieve long term success? So glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and be back with my IP family. And I love talking about mindset because we all get hung up on, you know, losing weight is easy. You got to and we focus a lot on picking the right diet, and that is important to make sure that you're picking the right kind of program. But more than anything else, I think it's really important to understand that mindset and learning how to do a diet and do what Paula has done, which is stick it out and make that ultimate lifestyle change. That is the holy grail. That is the thing that, man, that really works. But here's what I want everyone to know is that mindset piece is actually a skill. And like other skills, you can learn it. And I think the biggest shift that I see and with somebody, and if you are out there and you're struggling to get started, that you really think about making a shift from an outcome focus to a process focus. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. But when you change your process to a process focus, what it leads to is an identity shift. And so here's what I mean. What do we all do? We know I need to lose 30 pounds. I need to fit in my skinny jeans before my vacation, or I want to lose 50 pounds before my wedding. These are all goal-focused things. And, yes, it is good to have a goal. But the challenge with this, especially with weight loss and making the lifestyle change, is that in the beginning, you're doing a lot of work and you're not necessarily seeing the results. You're getting on the scale and it was a great week and nothing happened, right? So it puts an enormous amount of pressure on this thing. And then you can get discouraged because it's not matching, it's going slower than you thought. So the first shift that any of you can make is shift your focus to a process. Like, what are the things that I can do rather than the goal? So the things that I can do, I can get out and walk, like Dr. Barnes said, for 10 minutes, right? Make your process goals so ridiculously small in the beginning. Like, make the list of the things and pick 3 things that you can do. I can drink water. Who can't do that, right? We can do that. I can walk, as I said, for 10 minutes. I could put my fork down in between every bite so that I'm eating more slowly and mindfully and enjoying my food. And the interesting thing about that is if you're focused on the process, why this works is that everything that you do that's right is a vote for your new identity. And what I mean by identity is becoming the person. Instead of I need to lose 30 pounds, it becomes I am learning to become a healthy, clean eater. I'm the person that eats well and eats for energy, right? And make sure that those thoughts that you're having with it are thoughts that you can believe. So even if you say, well, I'm the kind of person that exercises every day, if you don't believe that, you might change it to a thought, I'm the kind of person I'm becoming the person that can walk every day for at least 10 minutes or take the stairs when I can do that. So that is the identity shift. And it, goes on from there, um, like, instead of I can't eat the cookie, you're beginning to identify as the person who I eat in a way that, I fuel my body, and I eat in a way that makes me feel energized. And that's really the holy grail. When you get to that level of, shifting your identity, that's where the long-term gains come.
So good. So good. Man, I love that. So what do you do? How do you help a client if they fall off track? What do you do? How do you help them
Okay.
recover?
Yeah, well, you know what? I think one of the things that really matters and why it's so important to have somebody working with you is that, we all have these things called thought distortions. And I think it's important to understand why a lot of times we fall off track. And so, one of the biggest thought distortions that we have, and Paula kind of alluded to it when she said, um, she's either all in or all, kind of an all in person or an all out person. Well, that's the way diets are a lot, right? I'm either on this diet and I'm doing great, or I'm not and I'm eating whatever. And so the biggest thing that I like to have people understand is that the number one thought distortion we have that throws us off in the first place is when we say, well, I've already blown it because I had the thing, I had the chips. So I might as well just keep on eating until, tomorrow I'll start again, or Monday I'll start again, or next year I'll start again. And, and when we do that, let's say you do that on a Friday and you have that extra thing, that if you have that one thought can take 100 or 200 extra calories. And if you blow it all weekend, you've turned it into 5,000 extra calories,
So
right?
good.
And so one of the things we have to really understand and what we have to identify is, wait, I'm having that thought. And every moment is a new opportunity for a new decision, which is, you know what? I can still win the day. And I want to give you an example of how flawed this thinking is, how crazy it is. It's kind of like saying you're going down the highway and you miss your exit and you say, well, I've already blown it, so I might as well just keep on going. Right? You don't reroute, you don't like put it in the GPS and figure out a different way to go.
Disneyland, here I come.
I know. Well, this is where we're going now. That's crazy, right? Another way to think of it is, you run a stop sign, right? That's a mistake, right? Like you eat something maybe not on plan, that's a mistake, right? So you run that stop sign. This is crazy making thinking is you run that first stop sign, you keep on running the stop signs because you say, well, I've already missed it on one. I might as well just keep running these stoplights, right? Crazy.
Yep.
So, I think the biggest thing is focus on those kind of thoughts. And you know what? Have a plan of when you identify the thought. Very often you're going to find, wait, that's that thought Z told me about. I'm going to think a new thought, which is I can still win the day. I can make a better decision on the very next meal.
That's so good. We always say in our clinic, it's like when you do that, it's like I have a little crack on my screen, so I'm just going to take a hammer and just beat it to death, because why not? There's already crack in it. Well, food is the only thing that we do that with, right? And I'll start again Monday, but does Monday ever come? So I love that. So Z, okay, here's the thing. So many people think that weight loss is just about picking the plan, right? And sticking with it. And then the weight comes off. But you've worked with countless clients and it's way more complex than that. So what's the piece that most people overlook when it comes to truly making a lasting change? What is that?
Well, it's the mindset, it's the thinking. And, one of the things that, when I first mentioned, when you're doing your processes and you begin to say, like I'm going to focus on these processes, is that you begin to say, to really that self-talk of how am I going to change from the process to this identity that I am now this person who eats well. I'm a person who loves to stay active. And, I think the challenge with this is that when we are in a weight loss journey, we don't talk to ourselves well, right? So somebody falls off the wagon and they eat something they shouldn't. And Sonia, you've heard this, right? You've got patients that come in, I was bad this week. I had this
Yes.
thing. And, I just don't like to indulge that kind of thinking. What we have to do to make this lifestyle change is that we have to give ourselves credit for every little thing that we're doing right. And I do it with using my own name. I'll say, good job, Z. You stopped eating that, like I didn't eat the whole bag. Sometimes it's that bad, right? Sometimes it's, well, I didn't eat the whole bag of chips. At least I stopped. Good job. Right. And a lot of times we don't think we deserve credit until we do the whole thing or we do the whole thing exactly right. The biggest thing here is constantly motivate yourself. It's a lot like, we just had the US Open. And if you've played tennis, like I've played a lot of tennis, and when you play singles, I think the thing they don't always talk about is when you're on that center court, you don't have the advantage of your coach on the sideline. Every other sport, you got
Mm.
someone on the sideline telling you what you can do. When you are playing tennis, you can't. You are in every shot. And when you mess up, you got to talk to yourself in a way that says, come on, Z, you got this. Let's get the next point. I'm going to just win this point. I'm not going to think about the long term, I got to come back from behind and I need to score 5 points. I'm going to get 1 point at a time. And that is that positive self-talk. And I think that is really lacking. Most of us don't talk to ourselves that way, but we need to begin to have some self-compassion, talk to ourselves in a way that, you're going to not fall apart in center court. You're going to like, all right, come on, you got this. I can win the day.
So good. You are blowing up in the chat. Everyone is loving the advice. And, people are offering their own motivational thoughts as well. I love this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know that we're really close to time. And I just want to say thank you so much for showing us that mindset isn't just part of the plan. It's not just part of the plan. It's the plan, right? And it's the small positive habits that we build each day that are going to carry us through, and our community, our support system. That's what keeps us going. Our coaches at Ideal Protein, we're here to strengthen you, right? We want to help you. And so we are so grateful for every coach. But Z, thank you so much for this. You are blowing up in the chat. Everyone's loving it. So thank you so much for sharing all of this tonight. It's been amazing. So, all right, guys, here's the thing. We are low on time, right? But if you're still sitting there wondering how to get started, here is my challenge to you. Pick one one small shift that's going to help you feel good this fall. Doesn't have to be huge. It can be small. But what matters is that you start. I remember when I was on the show, one of our coaches said, you don't have to be great to start, but man, you got to start to be great, right? So that's our mindset. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. We are here for you. We love you. We are here because we want to see you succeed. And your Ideal Protein coach, your community, this movement is here to support you every step of the way. Now, before we wrap up tonight, I want to bring all of our speakers back on for just 1 second. Guys, you get less than 60 seconds, okay? But here's a rapid fire question for each of you. In just a few words, Dr. Rothrock, just a few words, right? I'm going to you first. So what's one tip that you would share to help people feel good this fall? Dr. Rothrock, you're up.
Join an Ideal Protein clinic and get on with it.
Woohoo! So good, man. And that was quick for Dr. Rothrock. You have no idea. We just set a record. All right. Who's going to go next? Paula, you're up.
I got it. Mine is create a go-to healthy food list for days when you're busy. I know that it helps me when I organize it by meals.
So good. John Barnes, here we go. Your best tip that you want to help people to feel good this fall.
Remember that this journey is about more than just weight loss. Every choice you make and every step you take leads you closer to your life possible.
Oh my goodness. I see what you did there. So good. Hey, I feel
Shameless
so left
plug.
out. I know.
Listen
I
to
don't
and
have
watch
like
the
flashing
podcast.
lights. I just got a book and pit bulls. So, all right, DZ, here we go. I need your best piece of advice. Then I'll give mine and then we'll go.
Okay, so here it is. Lean in because this is important. Don't wait for your motivation. That's just
Ooh.
too much. Don't wait. Um, Make your motivation by starting with little tiny things that you can do every day. Give yourself credit along the way. Good job, Z, or whatever. Don't use Z, use your name. But
Right.
yeah, but get those quick wins and create the momentum and then don't quit.
Don't quit. Man, you know, for me, I would say my best piece of advice would be don't give up before your miracle, right? Paula is 12 years in, and man, Paula, you look amazing, and we're so proud of you. I'm 11 years out from the Biggest Loser, and sometimes we give up before we get great. And this is one area sometimes when people who have struggled with our health and our wellness and our weight for so long, sometimes we don't expect greatness in this area. We expect to be great podcast hosts. We expect to be great chiropractors. We expect to be great physicians, neighbors, daughters, sisters, moms, dads, all the things. But we don't expect to be great in this area because oftentimes we failed so many times. Don't do that this time. Expect greatness in this area. And remember, you need to be coached, right? I'm a great coach. I know that I can coach you to run through a brick wall and come back and be like, dadgummit, let's go do it again, right? But I'm a great coach for everybody except for me. So coming full circle and going back to what Dr. Rothrock said, find an ideal protein clinic, find an ideal protein clinic and coach that you mesh with because we are here for you specifically, right? So I know it's 7:31 and it has been an amazing night together. What a powerful conversation. Thank you to our panelists. You guys are amazing. You brought so much wisdom tonight. Thank you for your insight, and thank you to all of you for being part of this event. Keep going in the chat. We want to hear from you. We love you. We hope that you're leaving tonight with fresh motivation and really practical steps to help you feel your very best this fall. Man, if you learned something valuable, share it, share the replay with your friends, your family, or anyone who could use a little encouragement right now. Because I'm going to say it again, man, we're so much better together, right? So if you've been waiting for the right moment to take action, here it is. What are you waiting for? Now is your time. This is your now. And you feel like if you're ready to feel a little more confident in your own skin, feel like you have a little more energy and feel like you are ready to tackle this world, head over to our new website link. The link is in the Facebook Live comments. Head over to it. Get connected with someone. There's a form you can connect with. We want to connect with you. We want to get you connected with an ideal protein coach. There's a ton of feel-good fall resources. There's simple tools to help you strengthen habits and keep momentum going long after tonight. Because here in just a couple seconds, we're going to log off and we're going to go our own separate ways. But what an honor and what a joy it has been to share this hour, this Empower Hour with each and every one of you. You are the reason we are here. You are the reason, and this is the season to reset, to refocus, to feel good again. And it's time to do that with Ideal Protein. We love you. We're in your corner. Let's do this thing together. All right. Connect with an Ideal Protein clinic and coach and know that you have our love, you have our support. And man, we are here with you every step of the way. Have a great night. We love you. Bye-bye.